Hello, everybody. Good evening. Welcome to another episode of the Atomic Self Love Project. Tonight it is the 28th of March, 7 o'clock, 7:15 in Australia. So, for those of you who are tuning in, yeah, tell me where you're hailing from. Rebecca, hi, lovely. Stephanie, hello. Sarah, hi there. So I am on the northern New South Wales, just on the border of Queensland and New South Wales. Let me know where you're from. Rebecca is from Jarvis Bay. And I know we have some listeners that also hail from the other side, the USA, and also some friends from Singapore, from UK. Tonight it's gonna be interesting for me because number one, I'm actually in a different setting for myself. For the first time, I'm doing this in a small office at home, which is pretty enclosed. But I wanted to make sure tonight that the energy is really contained. I wanted to create a small container because I wanted to put a focus in showing you and talking with you about the top three blockers of how we can tap into our intuition. What are the three things that usually disallow us, that block us from accessing what is a god-given, a birthright, which is an intuition? So we're going to talk a little bit about that in the beginning, and then after we discuss those top three blockers, then we're going to go into energy channeling. So I'm going to pull out an energy card for each of you who wish to have one. And we're going to explore that as to how that is related to the energy that is dominant in your current situation, dominant in a way that it could be allowing you to manifest what you want, or dominant in a way that it might be disallowing you and blocking you from manifesting exactly what you want, the thing that you want to have the most. That could be your relationship, that could be a financial dream, that could be something big like a project. um, I don't know, you can tell me later on. So I've got Azra, welcome back. I love seeing you here. Azra is from Newcastle, Pam from New Zealand. Wow, it's late over there. Beverage Victoria, Stephanie, hello. Harvey Bay, Susie, beautiful place. And so Steph, we'll go into your energy card, but I wanted to get into straight away into the top three blockers of our intuition. And let me just remind everybody, especially myself, that intuition is a God-given gift. It's something that we are born with. We are nothing but full of intuition as babies, because that's what we actually use to learn. Our vision as small infants are not very clear to start with. We can't really see our parents. We feel their energy. We feel when they're smiling at us or laughing at us. We feel when they're holding us. Even when we're in the womb, we feel that we are wrapped in a cocoon. That comfortable darkness. We are all intuition as small babies, as infants, and then we grow up slowly, and then we develop and we embed these top three blockers, and then we unconsciously block ourselves from accessing what could be the most powerful thing that we have, really, which is intuition. Now, let me put in context why I'm so passionate about this. First of all, for those who are not familiar, about who I am as a transformational coach. Transformation is a very unapologetic, quite a difficult process, because it is a decision, it's a commitment. It's not just a one time getting an inspiration from someone, or a one time getting a motivation from someone. When someone gives you an advice, gives you a piece of piece of quote or a story that's really moved you, that inspires you and motivates you, but then it may last for a day or a week, and then you wonder why your momentum, you lose your momentum in trying to change. It's because transformation is a lot of inner work. It's work where even when someone is not keeping you accountable, you are able to keep yourself accountable because you are so decided. You've made the commitment to yourself. Now, um, to develop the skills of transformation, you've got to just be patient and just listen and just be open to things that you learn over time. And one of those could be just remembering, like what we're talking about tonight, is that we have the God-given gift of intuition, and that learning how to unblock ourselves from that. And the number one thing that really block us from accessing our intuition are our beliefs. And I'm not going to say belief systems, because it is just as simple as our beliefs. You know, the fact that we believe that the earth is round, which it is round, but what I'm saying is that the things that we believe are to be true about ourselves, that we don't really have so much evidence, the negative beliefs, especially when I remember when I was a single mother. This is about 11, 12 years ago. I was 33, 34 years old, and I was freshly separated from my husband, and I had two little kids, and a demanding job in a finance industry. And for some reason, for the life of me, I had this belief, and I kid you not, I really did believe that I was not capable to raise two little children on my own. My firm belief was that I had to have another person, a male partner, to accompany me in raising small children. And so what happened was, because of that belief, I got with someone who was the first one who said hello, and who was soft spoken and good looking enough. Even though I had so much red flags, my intuition was telling me not to go for it. But because of my belief, I had a strong belief that, it's a preconditioned belief, because I was growing up, we're all conditioned to have that white picket fence, the happy family belief, the stigma of the broken family. So those sorts of beliefs form into our mind unconsciously, and we use these beliefs to operate our lives. And what happens more often than not is they block us from really accessing the truth, which is the intuition. So give me a hands up. Stephanie says, I love your backdrop. Looks cool. Thank you. That's like, I think it's the Aurora Borealis. It's just from Zoom. Yeah. So Asher says free will. So for sure. Um, you know, let me know if any one of you here can remember a time when you have used a particular belief in your mind to make a decision. Based on that belief, you made a decision, and the ripple effect of that decision had led you to a path where it was so complicated, where it could have been simplified. So for my example, yeah, it was me choosing a relationship that was totally wrong for me. My intuition, my body, I had red flags, I had like goosebumps, I had everything. I was getting sick all through the relationships. It was everything in my body was telling me, but because my mind was so stuck in the belief that I need to have someone else to raise my children with me, and I can't do it alone because of the fear-based beliefs that I led myself to believe in, to buy into, it blocked me. And so what I want to suggest for everyone tonight is to, when you're making a decision and a thought comes into your mind as to why you're making that decision. For example, you're going to you want to go for a swim because it's such a beautiful day, and then you decide against going for a swim because you think about the hassle of finding a parking. And based on your experience, the hassle of finding a parking is not worth it to go and enjoy the beach. Now, that's a belief system because of your previous experience and because of what you see on the news, that parking is always full. That belief that the parking will be full before you even got there and saw it had prevented you from enjoying truly your senses, your body, from getting into that flow in the ocean. Even simple decisions like that. Yeah. And so Pamela says hi. So the decisions, big and small, when it comes to marrying a person, when it comes to breaking up with a person, when it comes to falling out of a friendship, when it comes to getting into employment, getting out of employment, just examine the beliefs that lie behind those decisions. So are they beliefs that serve you, or are they beliefs that hold you back from feeling truly joyful? And that's how you know when these beliefs hold you back from a beautiful experience, then chances are that is a belief that blocks you, that is blocking you from accessing your intuition, because your intuition will never betray you. It is a benevolent place, and it's always gonna be on your side. It's always got your back. Your intuition is always got your back if you just access it and listen to it and be open to it. It's You're always going to open up a path that's going to eventually lead you to a joyful place. And so examine the belief that are behind your decisions, because if those decisions are blocking you from a joyful, beautiful experience, chances are you're blocking your intuition. The second thing that blocks you from accessing your intuition is, surprisingly, it is your sense of efficiency. Okay, so I'm going to say this one more time for people at the back there. The second thing that blocks you from accessing your intuition is your sense of efficiency. And I'm going to tell you why in a minute. But this is very common. And there's nothing wrong with being efficient. It allows us to, minimize risk. It allows us to have less collateral damage. So efficiency is definitely a useful skill. However, efficiency has an angle of control. So when we become so efficient, we have an expectation of doing something in a particular manner, particular fashion, particular method, so that we know exactly what is going to be the outcome. We have a full sense of control. I know this so much because I was a single mother for a long time, for over 10 years, and all I did was efficiency. I was so efficient, like I'd had everything planned ahead. I'd become so efficient that I became a control freak. And when I became a control freak, it came to a point where if the outcome is not clear enough for me ahead of time, if the outcome is not something that I can create a mental picture in my mind ahead of time, and the operative word here is ahead of time. If I can't picture the outcome ahead of time as it's going to be, I'm not going to do it, because I'm a control freak. I want everything to be risk free. I want everything to be totally in control. Especially I had small children, and so that's great. Especially if you have small children, you've got to be efficient. You've got to be systematic. But when it comes to your inner joy, your personal happiness, you're inside here in your heart, tell me, when you have a sense of control, are you truly happy? Are you truly flowing from your heart? Do you truly feel open? Are you being vulnerable enough so you can invite courageousness? If the answers to those four questions, if any of the answers to those four questions are a no, is a no, then the efficiency that you have had gone to a point where it is borderline control freakness, where that sense of control is blocking the flow of your intuition, because you're always wanting to know exactly what the outcome is. And my encouragement to you is to be able to unpack the being a control freak, to back away from the sense of control and not have so much desire to control everything. I encourage you to do something spontaneous. Tomorrow, ASAP, the first chance that you can do something spontaneous. It can be as small as saying hello to a stranger. I mean, if you're someone, for example, who likes to keep to yourself, a little bit shy, a little bit reserved, do something that's out of your comfort zone. If you take the train to work or take the bus to work, smile at a stranger, look them in the eye, and smile at them for a good 2 full seconds. Have a silent communication to say that I'm looking at you, I'm okay, and you're okay. You know, just that openness and unblocking your connection with someone will open a sense of intuition. It will make you really uncomfortable at first, but when you open that connection, the intuition starts to flow in, because you start to feel that, hey, it's okay, I don't have to know exactly how they're going to react. I don't have to know if they're gonna raise their eyebrows at me or tell me to bugger off, or or ignore me altogether. It's okay how they react, because it's not about that. It's about me opening to them and giving them the energy that I'm okay, they're okay, I'm looking at them, and I care, even though we don't know each other personally. So just as small as that. Now, if you want to go higher to a next level, you can perhaps, when you get to work, there might be a colleague that you don't like, right? Or you hardly ever speak to because you're shy, or you're not sure about them. Extend a loving, warm gesture, but by just saying, particularly going out to them and just say, hey, good morning, how are you? And say their first name. So if their first name is Grace, like me, hey Grace, good morning, how are you? And I bet you they're going to have a look of shock on their face, or a look of surprise. And most of the time, that look of surprise is a pleasant surprise. When you open up and put yourself in an uncomfortable situation, it comes back to you tenfold. And I encourage you to do this ASAP. And if you can't wait tomorrow, do it tonight with your partner. It might be your partner whom you have not had a loving hug. You might have been, sometimes being vulnerable is going to your partner and making the first move. And I'm not just talking about sex. I'm talking about making the first move of opening up to say that I care, I'm here for you. Sometimes we have so much going on in our daily lives, about the children, about the logistics of life, that we tend to withdraw to ourselves, and there's a sense of separation from our spouse, that is invisible, but it's there. And all it takes is a little tap on the shoulder, or a little warm touch to say, hey honey, you know are you okay, or how is your day? Just that small gesture to connect again, to open, to allow intuition, and to let go of control, that their reaction does not matter. If they're going to reject you, they're going to ignore you, they're going to raise their eyebrows, they're going to give you a cold shoulder, it doesn't matter. It's not about that. It's about you opening up so that your intuition flows back in, because your intuition is a benevolent place. It's never going to let you down. And the more that you work with it, the more that you're going to manifest exactly what you want, on an everyday basis, on a monthly basis, all year long, all of your life, if this is something that you're really committed to. Now, the third thing that is blocking us from accessing our God-given gift, that is the intuition, is your preconditioned beliefs, or preconditioned points of view. And AKA, to be specific, they are your attachments, your sense of attachment to something. So for example, if um, you may have a car that you've been driving for since it was brand new, and the car is now about 10 years old, but you love that car because you have it since brand new. You have a relationship with the car, you named the bloody car, yeah. And so, but then it's time to replace the car. And but you are like, you're delaying the decision. It's time to replace the car for practical reasons, because you need something that's more suited to the family, because you're just in a position to do another leasing if you're in a business, or it's just something that is more practical for you. Perhaps you are driving a sedan and you have a whiplash kind of thing in your on your neck, and you need something that's higher like a SUV. For some kind of necessary reason, you need to replace the car or replace something. But because you have a sense of attachment to the old car, you're delaying the decision, and in effect you are hindering your well-being, your health, or the comfort of your family, or the practical side of your business. So this sense of attachment, which really means nothing but just your personal unverbalized relationship with that car, just that you're holding on to it, and therefore the flow of your life is stuck. Now, let me show you a trick where you can still hold on to memories, because I love memories. I'm attached to memories. I'm attached to the places that we've traveled to, especially me and my kids when they were little. We went, all over Europe, all over New Zealand, Asia. So I love those memories, and I'm never going to let them go, right? So there is a way to attach yourself to memories without making it block your intuition. And how you do that is you you remember it, and you can remember it by journaling it, or you can just remember it in your memory and feel the gratitude for having the experience, and just breathe into it and trust that it will stay with you. It's part of your growth, it's part of who you have become, and it's never going to go anywhere, even if the representation of those memories may go away. And by representation, I mean the physical things like the car itself, or even sometimes the photos. Sometimes we lose our phone and we lose all of the photos associated with our travels, and we spend so much time, you know feeling feeling the grief. But it's okay, like they're just photos. What matters is that the memories that you have in your heart, and how it's made you who you are today, and the conversations that you can share with these people that you share these experiences with, when you have lunch with them, when you have a get together with them, you have a laugh about it. And it's an even better experience, because you can say something like, you remember that time when, and they go, oh yeah, I do, and this happened. And then you have like sort of like a discussion about how someone else remembers it, and the other person remembers it differently. So it becomes more of a growing kind of memory without having to be attached to the physical side of it. You know what I mean? So your attachments, um, like embrace the memories, but don't be so attached to things. Don't be so attached to labels. Don't be so attached to people even. Like sometimes someone just wants to leave you or break up with you, and okay, well, you have to allow them to go. Because when someone leaves, if they come back, then they're yours forever. If they don't come back, then they were never yours to begin with. They were just there to teach you a lesson for a season in your life. And what you need to do is be grateful for those memories and for the growth that you've had. But you've got to let them go, because they have a journey to move forward to, and you've got your own journey to move forward to as well, with different people, with new experiences. So those are the top three things, and they're really big, right? They are really they're so important to remember, that they majorly block us. So your beliefs, your sense of efficiency to the point of being a control freak, and your attachments, your attachments to people and to things. So when you let go of these and come back to an open space, no attachments, no judgments, no expectations. And how you can do this is just to regularly spend 2 to 5 minutes every day in stillness. And I kid you not, that's all it takes, 2 to 5 minutes every day in stillness. And by stillness, it's just not doing much, just breathing in and out, and if a thought comes to your mind, let it go. It doesn't matter what kind of thought it is, whether it's a positive or a negative thought. What matters is that you let it go, because they're just thoughts. They're not you. You there sitting in peace is the soul, the essence of you. And those thoughts, they're not the essence of you. They are just product of your environment that just, you know, kind of produce themselves inside your brain cells, and your brain cells kind of like operate them, but your brain is just one function of your body, of your physical body. The essence is the one that is the major player in your life and in your future, and that is your soul. And that's what who you're spending the 2 to 5 minutes of stillness with each and every day. And when you do this, you allow the openness, you allow the non-judgment, you allow the letting go of the attachment, you allow the letting go of the belief, you allow the letting go of the control, and you invite intuition back in you, as full as it had been for you when you were born. Because when we were born, all we had was intuition, and how beautiful was that, you know? And so I that was it was it's really helped me in my transformation journey, is to let go of those three blockers and just be in my essence of intuition, so that I can allow. I hope that's giving you some insight. I'm going to check out some comments here. uh, so Stephanie saying, I'm a single mom, um, with 2 children, and having the same thought pattern at the moment, and not wanting my children to regret me and choices I've made for their well-being. Steph, I feel you. I was a single mom for a long time, and being a single mom, with, like I was talking about before, the belief systems that I've had, and I'd not really had some really good guidance in my upbringing. I was a child who was abandoned, suffered through a lot of neglect and a lot of trauma. And so I used the best judgment that I could when I was raising my kids. And I had this friend, and I'm going to share this story with you. Her name is Mary O'Donoghue, and she was sort of like my counselor, but also my friend for a long time. She's passed now. She's left us about 11 or 12 years ago, due to breast cancer. But Mary, on her deathbed, when I remember the last time I saw her in Pindara Hospital, and Mary's very close to me, and I even wrote in my book that Mary knew me more than I ever knew myself at that time, because Mary went through similar things as I had, single motherhood and career, and just overcoming trauma and whatnot. But in her deathbed, she said to me, Grace, I want you to remember something. And you can read this in my book if you want. Check it out on Amazon, Become the Woman of Your Dreams. But Mary said to me, Grace, I want to say one thing to you, and I want you to promise me that you will remember this, for a long time. It was as if she knew that I will not understand what she was about to say at the time. And I knew somehow that she had this sense of urgency, that she needed to say what she needed to say at the time, and I needed to remember it. I kind of like had this, she had this unspoken thing that I'm not going to be here for long. You have to remember what I'm about to say. And this is what she said to me, Steph. She said, Grace, we all do the best that we can do at any given time. Grace, your mother who abandoned you, your ex-husband who did the things that he did to you, they were doing the best that they could do at the time that they were doing it to you. That's all it is. We do the best that we can do every time. And as hard as it is to accept, it's a bitter pill to swallow, that even the worst person in the world, the criminal who's incarcerated in jail, whatever it is that they've done, they were doing their best. Even how hard is that to swallow? They were doing what they believed to be the best that they can do at the time that it was happening. And you don't need to understand this now, but I want you to promise me that you will remember this. And I did not understand it at the time. I really did not. It was so hard to understand, because Mary knew that the one thing that was so difficult for me to do was to forgive people at that time. And so she wanted to leave that piece of wisdom with me. And you know what happened? About 3 years after she died, I had a near death experience myself. And out of that near death experience, I started to realize what she meant. I started to realize, and Stephanie, this is for you, that every decision, every failed decision that I perceived to be a failure, in service of my children for their well-being, that I did in the past, I did them to the best of my capacity. And the only way that I can turn those decisions into fearless decisions and turn our life around is to forgive myself to start with. Number one is to forgive myself, and to know that as as well as my mother had done her best for me, however it was, I did the best that I could in every decision that I had. And it's the same for you, Stephanie. you know um the thought pattern, as I mentioned before, they're just products of your brain cells. So those thought patterns, you can easily let them go. Just let go of the attachment of those thoughts, because the attachment is that thinking that the thoughts are our thoughts, that we own them. They are just products of the way that our brain cells have been conditioned, Steph. So we are conditioned from when we're born. We are being taught, told, shown, guided by human beings who operate with their brains. And therefore, we connect with their brains through our brains. But that's not necessarily our essence. You have the power to look at these thoughts from your essence and recognize that they are not yours. You have the choice to let go of those thought patterns and create create the essence and translate it into self-love, into a knowing that you've got this. Your love will never ever be removed. It's unconditional for your children. No one can ever love them as much as you do, and you know that. And that's all you need to remember, is that you love them with every fiber of your being. And that's all that you need to know. And remember, those thought patterns, 2 to 5 minutes a day, spend in stillness, let them go, live in your essence, invite your intuition back in. I hope that's giving you some insight today. So as you're saying, I'm single mom of a one human turning 17. Wow, that's cool. I have a 16-year-old and a 19-year-old. You have four pets. OMG. Wow, I love animals as well. So thanks for the stars, Ashra. So Georgia, hi, beautiful. I have lost babies, and I'm just wondering if you see me having a viable pregnancy one day soon. Georgia, I thank you for sharing and being vulnerable, and my heart goes out to you. I have a stepdaughter. She's 34, and I'm so happy that she's now expecting, and she's going. But she did lose a baby as well, and so I know I've a lot of friends have been through that as well. So the question that you have is that you want to know if having a if you have a viable pregnancy one day soon. So here's what I wanted to share with you, Georgia, is the universe is in your hands, right? So, and even when you look into the deeper sense of your spiritual self, the essence of you, let's talk about the Akashic Records, for example. And for those of you, Georgia, if you're not familiar with this, so let me simplify. The Akashic Records is just a record of everything for you. Your past, your present, and your future, a record of all of that in the one place. It's a place that you can access. Now, that's right now, we're not going to talk about how you can access that. But what I'm trying to say is that the universe is literally in your hands. Your universe is literally in your hands. And what I want to share with you, Georgia, is that the power is in you, in your heart, in your essence, in your soul, in your hands. And I encourage you to never ever give that power away. So tonight you asked me if I see a viable pregnancy for you one day soon. And so I want to be very unapologetic here. I am a transformational coach. And the way that I work with women is that I don't ever pull any punches, because I love you too much as a woman to sugarcoat things for you and to pull punches for you. So I encourage you to never ever give away your spiritual power to anyone, even to me. Don't ask me a question that I can answer with a yes or a no, because no one knows but you. I would never know, because you hold the power. You hold the universe in your hands, literally. You can ask questions for sure, but I want to show you how to ask questions that are empowering to you, that are really going to shape the way that you're going to to you're going to shift your paradigms, to shift your beliefs, to shift your soul, so that you will create. You're a sovereign being, and you're the only one who can create your future, who can rewrite your past, through these records, by just really changing your beliefs. And by changing your beliefs, it's like changing the contracts and the agreements inside of your akashic records. You don't need to know any technical things about the records, but I'm saying that in your universe, when you learn to ask the right questions, the universe will respond to you beautifully. So we can ask together. Let's ask a question for you tonight, Georgia. You know, you might ask a question to the universe that's really empowering to you in your future. Something like this. You may say something like, um, I'm just feeling your energy here. Empower yourself and empower your universe by asking questions that are going to stimulate what you already know inside of you, Georgia. So ask questions like, what are the things in my life that are currently contributing to the holistic side of my life, so that I can move forward, to help me move forward to becoming more ready for that connection, for connection with the soul. So it's not having the attachment. Again, if you've been here, Georgia, earlier, I was talking about the attachment. So let go of the attachment of what it's going to look like when it comes to having that pregnancy. Say something like, what are the what are what are the essence that I can tap into inside of me, so I'm closer to the connection that I really want to have with another soul. Because these connections that we long for, to be honest with you, it's not, sometimes we feel that, we want to have our children, but children come in many many different sources. And I say this from the bottom of my heart. I am a mother twice, biological mother twice, but I am also a stepmom twice over. So I talked about my stepdaughter with my ex-husband, who's now pregnant with her own child. But I also have now a stepson. He's 10, but he calls me mommy. I have him 100%. And I am so blessed with that. It's not I've never, I never saw it coming, but it's a connection. This child, little Junie, is one of my biggest teachers in my life. He allowed me to really access the most difficult parts of my inner child, so that I can become the transformational coach, that I can become the woman that I am today. And if not for little Junie, my stepson, it probably would have taken me years and years to process that. And so the connection with the longing for a connection that we want with a different soul, whether that's a baby from our own womb, or what kind of soul that is, we don't really know what the universe has got for us, but it's got something for us. So we need to ask these questions in a way that it's going to really open up to us, the universe, and say, hey, since you've asked the question, well, here it is. I'm going to start to show you. But when you ask questions, especially to other people, that is answerable by a yes or no, the universe closes up, because it feels a little bit neglected, because what it wants is a deep and meaningful connection with you. Your universe wants a deep and meaningful open conversation with you, and to entice and stimulate that, you need to ask the right questions. So I'm gonna pull out a card for you, Georgia, because I'm feeling, I feel that you're on the cusp of really accessing that connection, that openness. It's just a matter um, of having that encouragement that you've got this. You know what's the deep truth inside of you. And you may have some fears to really face the deep truth inside of you, and that's okay. If you want to talk deeper about it, feel free to book a free breakthrough call with me. The link is above this video. um, I'm here for you if you want to explore that deeper, because I do acknowledge that it's easier said than done. There are fears that we need to conquer because we are human beings. That's why we do these things. We talk to each other. That's why we commune, and we open up to one another. So let me just pull a card out for you, Georgia. I'm gonna tune into the energy again. And Stephanie says, thank you so much. Can you please come to Victoria so I can see you for a read? I'm actually going to Victoria, Steph, in November this year for a book launch. So yeah, but that's not until, that's gonna be in somewhere in the CBD. So yeah, stay tuned. I'll definitely keep you guys informed. Okay, so um, Georgia, and you've got a card that jumped. And the card that jumped out is actually, I'm gonna remove my Zoom background so you can see it. Just bear with me. So Georgia, this card jumped out for you, and it is rest and rejuvenation. It's the message is very clear, Georgia, is to look after yourself, because rest and rejuvenation is the form of stillness that will bring you back to connect with your intuition. And when you connect with your intuition, it will open your universe for you, the deep truth inside of you, your deepest desires, your deepest fears. So and I encourage you to to treat your fear with love, because fear is a useful device. You know, it is a message for us to unpack the beliefs that we have stocked in our brain over time. And I want to help you with this. So book a free breakthrough call, because um, when you go into rest and rejuvenation, when the more still that you become, the more you get an insight into what's inside of your soul. And sometimes that's not always a pleasant experience. So allow me to work with you and book a free breakthrough call. But the message is very clear: rest and rejuvenation, connecting with your inner self, a lot of self-care, a lot of self-love, and opening back the deep truth for you, and really acknowledging that you have got the universe in your palm to shape. It's a matter of asking the right questions. And Julia says, thank you for introducing me to Alan. You're most welcome. I'm just so happy that you guys have been able to connect together. It's wonderful, and that's what I'm so passionate about, is to bring you, ladies and guys, all sorts of different forms of healing modalities in the Atomic Self Love Project. Because as I always say, we have different circumstances, different sources of wounds, different sources of pain, and there is not a one size fits all kind of healing modality that will fix us. Sometimes, it's the one kind that we discover on our own, or sometimes it's a stack of different modalities that we decide to give to ourselves by just learning them first of all. And so my job is to educate you and to allow you to see that everything is up to you. It's in your hands. It's a matter of asking the right questions, and never ever giving away your spiritual power by asking someone a question that is yes or no, because it is not up to anyone else but your essence. No one can tell you a yes or a no, or what's going to happen, because what's going to happen is up to you. Absolutely 100% up to you. It's a matter of having a sweet and loving conversation with your universe through your intuition, opening it up for your benefit, and so that it can go, oh, hey, hello, I'm here, let's talk. What is it that you desire? And so when you ask the right questions, the universe will respond to you. But like I'm saying, as a transformational coach, it's not always a pleasant experience. Now, if you are committed to transform something in your life or to transform yourself, book a breakthrough call with me. The link is above the video. Also join my private Facebook group, which is also above the video. So let me have a look about at some other requests. So I've got so Steph, I've read for you about your kids, and I am actually a little bit behind here, a few seconds behind, and I'm not seeing any new requests for to pull out a card, an energy card. So if there is no other burning questions or burning desires or yeah, curious questions about what are the ways that we can access our intuition, then I'm actually going to let you guys go on a Sunday evening so I can then also enjoy my family. I've got a request from Angela Phillips. So, Angela, okay. I'm just looking at your photo, Angela, so I can have a feel of your energy. Let me know what area of your life you're working on right now, Ange, and Shell as well. Okay, so this is a card for you, Ange. Woman holding a coin. So this card is about being savvy with the financial side of your life. So this woman is sophisticated, as you can see, and she's holding a symbol that represents abundance. And so this card, this energy card, is saying to you that if you are not already in a space of being able to let's use the word manipulate, because it is appropriate for financial awareness. If you're not able, if you're not yet in a space of, you know, financial awareness and financial control, it's a space that's awaiting you. It's a space that is, you know, that you are getting close to, or it's a space that you are thinking about. It's where it's something that you have been mulling over, and you may have questions about you know, about, so you're saying work and love. So this card here is saying to you that in areas of work and love, this is something that you can draw strength from. So however, whatever that means for you, especially with work, for example, like, it seems it's coming up as upright, it's not reversed. So if it's upright, it means that you have some kind of sophistication when it comes to financial awareness, and in that areas, whether that is involving the other person in your relationship, or just involving your own financial awareness. It's something that is allowing you to affirm that it is a strength that you have. And because you have that strength, it's going to, you know, it's going to translate into how you're going to manifest the joy that you want to manifest in work and in love. So perhaps if you have some savings, I know, because I am someone who loves to create memories. So do something nice together with with someone that you love, right? Or if you're at work, consider investing into a relationship with someone at work. Not, I'm not saying intimate relationship, but just that work relationship. And by investing, I mean that you might want to invest either money or time with them. And I'm not saying spend a lot of money, like just say, hey, do you want me to buy you a coffee? or time. Time is the biggest investment of all, because you can never ever recover time. You can multiply money, but time, once you give it away, you've given it away. You're not going to get, so, invest time, or either time or money with them. And either one of those, time or money, is actually part of financial awareness and financial abundance, because these two are intercorrelated when you create that abundance manifestation. So think about those, along those lines, because you seem to be someone who has that awareness. So when you talk about alchemy, yeah, so in a way, like I said, use your financial awareness to alchemize your relationship, to transmute what the joy that you want to manifest. So for example, if you've got savings, use that to create memories with your loved ones. If you're in a position to invest time or money, use that to strengthen your relationship with the people at work, or with someone that you believe is going to be a good mentor for you, or you've got things that you can learn from them. So when you give first, you will receive more. So by giving your time first and giving your interest first, it will come back to you more. So when you say to them, let's have coffee, and ask them about what their interests are, and create that bond, they will give back to you. So it's using what you're good at to alchemize and create the joy that you want. So Shell wants to have, I hope that's giving you some insight tonight. And now, yeah, for Shell, let's pull out a card for business and love. Now, Shell, let me know, what sort of business? Is it a brick and mortar business, or is it not a brick and mortar business? Just give me an insight to that one. And so I've got some real super women here. About it's always like this balance between work and love, business and love, the relationship, which is our, what makes us happy in our heart, and then the work or the business, which gives us that self-esteem and that self-worth. So it's that yin and the yang that I see, and it's always that balance that we're looking for. And when when you find that the answer to this is always inside of you, it becomes really, really exciting, because, as I said before, everything is in your hands. Your universe is in your hands. So, okay, so Shell says, am I staying in business that I am in now, or am I changing? You've actually got a jumper, and it's the same. So I'm gonna pull out another, so this energy is so strong because it's jumping out, and so we're going to pull out another one to go with this one, because this was the same for Angela. But Shell, this is also saying that you've got some kind of financial awareness that you can use in order to um, to create what you want to create. But that's not specific enough, because you have a specific question of would you, are you in a direction of moving away, or moving towards, moving closer to, or moving further away from? And your card that jumped out is adjacent possibilities. Wow. Let me say to you, this card and myself, sometimes we have like a love-hate relationship, because this is a very powerful card, because and especially when it comes with this card as well, because the possibilities that you can create is so obviously unlimited. Now, adjacent possibilities is about possibilities that you have typically not yet thought of for yourself. This is saying to you, especially to you, Shell, that there are options available to you that you may have overlooked, or you may have chosen not to dwell on or ponder. You may have a belief to think that, oh, that's something that I don't do, or that's something that I'm not good at, or it's something that I've never really been interested in, or that's already a saturated market, or I've heard things about that, and I heard that it's not viable, or you know what I mean. Like, there may be some beliefs there that have sort of disallowed you to explore it further. This card is saying to you that there are some possibilities. Adjacent means it's just there. It's kind of like next to some kind of an opening, but It's never been touched or opened by anyone. That's literally what adjacent means. And I know you know that. But so it's a matter of you poking those possibilities that you've kind of like sort of like just decided to keep your hands off of. Yeah, so I encourage you to journal. Write in your journal tonight. If you don't do a journal, start journaling. Just write the ideas that you have, you know so you're thinking about stay or not stay in this business. Well, put down two columns. So stay, what are the possibilities? Not stay, what are the possibilities? What else can I do? So just and don't judge the thoughts that come out. Just write them down as if that you don't own them. Just dump them out to a piece of paper and don't worry about it, and then come back to it hours later or tomorrow. I encourage you to do the brain dump tonight, and then tomorrow you go back to the piece of paper and look at it and you go, okay, interesting, because this is very strong, and together it's saying that you have the power to create something that you may not have considered. And I'll give you a solid example. In December, I wanted to launch a course, right? And I was me having a few different fields that I teach. I was confused. What do I teach? And the one thing that my partner and some of my friends have always said to me, relationship is one of your strong areas. Teaching about relationship, and I've always said no, because yeah, that's a bit too involved, like those things that I just like, my thoughts, my beliefs. And this card kept coming up for me, adjacent possibilities. And you know what I ended up teaching? It was relationships. And the transformation for my students in their relationship inside of themselves, and the relationships that they had with their spouses, with their business partners. It was just mind-blowing. It was mind-blowing. So that card is so powerful. Please take heed, and I cannot wait. Share with me if you want to book a breakthrough call. Especially if you book that in a few days, which means you've already done your brain dump and you've already done your thinking about mulling over your possibilities, and we can talk about it together in a couple of days, few days. So I look forward to it. Alrighty, ladies. So it's been so much fun tonight, and before I go, I really just want to iterate that when you spend that 2 to 5 minutes each and every day with yourself quietly, it is a vehicle, it is a foolproof vehicle to accessing your intuition, your essence. And when you get a sense of connection with your inner self, it's great. And so, celebrate that. But make it like as if it's your it's a make it a habit. Make it like as if it's almost your religion. Do it every day, and especially when it seems so hard to do it anyway, because that's how your intuition is going to start having that beautiful, sweet, loving, deep and meaningful relationship back with you, because it's going to say, hey, you just love me so much and you want to invite me to your life again, and so here I come. I can't resist you. Let's do this together. It's that reconnecting with your inner self. 2 to 5 minutes a day. Breathe in, breathe out, let go of your thoughts, and just be. And I cannot wait. And I invite everyone. You're welcome, Shell. I invite everyone to book a breakthrough call with me. The link is above. I cannot wait to chat with you in private. Join my private Facebook group as well, and listen to some life hacks on how to manifest joy in your life by through empowered healing and empowered transformation. This is Grace Harris from the Atomic Self-Love Project. I love you all. I will see you again next Sunday. Bye, everybody.